Hi guys, I hope you're having a great day today. In this video, I'm going to be looking into the question, what would a tarot reader tell them about you? There are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Celestite. Group 2 is the Citrine. And group 3 is the Smokey Quartz. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Celestite. So let's see, the person on your mind, if they went and got a tarot reading about you, what would the tarot reader tell them? Okay, we have vulture energy with consume. Moth energy with death, and raven energy with secret. So there's a sense with these energies that a tarot reader would tell them that you have shed a version of yourself and are basically unrecognizable in a lot of ways to this person at this time. So if this would be like a no contact situation and it's been a while since you've been in communication with this person, they would be told that like the person that you knew before no longer exists. This person has gone through like a death, rebirth, dark night of the soul. They didn't just endure. They didn't just survive. This is somebody that may appear to be kind of hidden. They sort of dropped back. There's not a whole lot of clarity as far as what they have going on at this point in time, but don't mistake things. The chips are not down for them. They have actually turned unfortunate circumstances into an opportunity. And so it feels like this would come with some kind of advice of like a need to try a different strategy or approach. If this was somebody that was like looking to reconcile with you, romantically speaking, it's sort of like there's a need to kind of touch on the past and sort of whatever had torn you apart, but they'd be given the advice and the understanding of you're going to have to kind of think outside of the box. You're going to have to bring something new to the table. You're not just coming in and kind of picking up where you left off. You're basically going to have to get to know this new version of this individual that's a very empowered version. So this is the sense of groveling won't work. Manipulation won't work. A tarot reader would tell them that you've tapped into your intuition in some way. You've learned to like harness your shadow or aspects of yourself that you had abandoned previously, or, you know, even kind of turning heartbreak into some kind of motivation or fuel for kind of stepping into a new purpose. That there's a sense that this is definitely the energy of like, come correct or don't come at all. This may be something that comes with almost like a warning to this other person, like the things you could have gotten away with in the past with this individual. They are listening to their intuition a lot more. You're not going to get off so easy. You're not going to be able to kind of just come in and play the same games that you played before. Like if you haven't done some kind of work within yourself to release your baggage, to kind of step beyond sort of like a wounded or distorted version of self, this person's going to smell you coming from a mile away. They're going to shut the door in your face just as quickly as you attempt to gain entry back into their life in some sort of manner. So it feels like it would almost be something that would be kind of a cautionary tale for this person. Like the advice would be, don't try to rush in too quickly, because you're going to have to learn who this person has become. Whatever the rules you thought applied before, whatever the things they would tolerate, or that you got away with in the past, romantically speaking, maybe it was like breadcrumbing kind of energy or inconsistency. There's a sense that a tarot reader would tell them that you've shed the version of yourself that would tolerate that that would just kind of turn a blind eye, or, you know, maybe was operating in a lower self-esteem and would have just kind of settled into that. But with this is also the energy of like potency and creation. This would almost be something where the tarot reader would tell them, if you can muster up your courage, if you can be brave enough to allow a new opportunity or a next chapter with this individual to reshape you, or even if you're kind of like, if you come towards this person and you're rejected, if you utilize that as an opportunity to kind of learn something, see a karmic pattern at play, and apply that kind of lesson in a more positive way moving forward, then reconciliation can ultimately be for both of your growth, both of like a higher path for the two of you. There may be some kind of reference brought up as well as like a karmic contract or a soul contract. If this is like a soulmate energy, then it feels like a tarot reader would let this person know, you know, this is your soulmate, but you got a lot of karmic layers that need to be worked through, that need to be shed. You need to decide, you know, is it worth it? Am I up to the challenge of the death rebirth cycles that are required of me as well, prior to coming back into this person's life, or even after you would reconnect with one another? It's almost like meeting on a different sort of playing field than had been the case previously, so the effect you would have on one another would be different. It's like bringing something more to the table, but with the expectation of however that love story, or even like a failure to launch kind of energy. This might have been somebody that just never made their move. They just held all their energies and their feelings and intentions within, and you kind of went your separate ways. That there's the ability to kind of experience something next level as far as love is concerned, but it requires kind of shedding of expectations, because you're sort of actively in the midst of that, or you've come out the other side. You're further out the other side of that than you're letting be known like publicly, or that people are aware of. I'm hearing underestimated. So this can be something where you were kind of just written off as the underdog, or you were underestimated in some kind of capacity, and a tarot reader would tell them like, this person is going to blow your mind. They're going to defy your expectations, or they're in the process of kind of doing that for other people in their life, or you know, rising against kind of statistics and inevitability, and this is somebody who's kind of beat the odds in some kind of capacity, maybe even just a threshold of limits that have been placed upon self. So a tarot reader would tell them that like, you're in an expansive period of time, and if this person would want to be part of that story moving forward, then they're going to have to get ready to be like shoved out of their comfort zone in some way, or this isn't just kind of coming back together with someone and sort of settling into what they had envisioned or had experienced in the past with you was kind of the nature of the typical love story. Like you've taken your power back in some sort of way, or found that kind of power within the darkness. And so there's a sense that a tarot reader would tell them like, your energy is very powerful. There's like strength within your silence. Something as far as like self-mastery that you've worked on, which may also kind of bring forth encouragement of this could be just what that person needs, that type of mirror for themselves on like a spiritual level, and in terms of stepping into a romantic relationship with somebody that challenges them to kind of like become that best version of self or evolve. This isn't just something where they could come back around or confess their feelings for the first time and expect to be placated. There's almost a sense of the tarot reader would sort of say, be ready for your ego to be challenged. But that this person doesn't view the viewer like you're not in a destructive cycle, like you've come out of that in some sort of way. So if this person is able to work with that idea of their ego being challenged by you and by what you've been doing, kind of who you've developed into as a person, then they can get on that train during this creative cycle that you've been self-initiated into, or that you've been working to kind of come into alignment with. So let's see what else they would tell them. Okay, we have flight, opportunity, prosperity, new venture. And wayfarer, contemplation, search for truth, inner guidance. Yeah, so that's an energy of somebody who's building in silence, waiting until results speak for themselves. So you may have been going through some kind of glow up, some kind of transformation, kind of behind the scenes. Maybe you've been working on, your fitness, your appearance, kind of your mindset, emotional things. Maybe been working to level up as far as career is concerned, or launch something. A tarot reader would tell them that you've aligned with the energy of abundance in a way that is kind of like to experience the fullness of what that'll mean for you. It's almost kind of an energy of sort of progressive steps upward, like you're getting ready to sort of come out into the light with like the light of truth. So they may actually tell this person that like a window of opportunity could be closing for you. Or for them rather, with you, romantically speaking, because it's almost like when you step out into the light as this refurbished version of yourself, as this leveled up version of yourself, you're going to be highly sought after. You're not waiting to be chosen. You're the one doing the choosing. You're moving with intent and purpose. And so there's almost a sense, kind of to tie back into the idea of a bit of like a cautionary tale or a warning that this person needs to like come correct or don't come at all. You're in a position right now of like, you're not going to tolerate things that waste your time, or seek to derail you. You in some sort of way have cultivated enough wisdom or enough intuition. You're able to see through the bullshit, the stuff that previously had kind of gotten you tangled up in karmic cycles. Maybe you dealt with your own bullshit and you're no longer kind of placating yourself. And so as a result of that, you're not going to tolerate other people kind of disrespecting you, pushing your boundaries. You're not going to settle for less than you know that you're worth, or that you've kind of increased that value within yourself to a belief of worthiness. And so there's a sense of like, if before you struggled, it's like everything you now touch has the ability to turn to gold, because you've alchemized the lead of like negative experiences or disappointments in life and in love into spiritual gold, into wealth inside of yourself. And there's much more potential that you've like activated or that you've harnessed at this time, that you're utilizing at this time, than meets the eye. So there's a sense that a tarot reader would almost tell them like, you need to expect the unexpected with this person, because whatever you thought would be sort of the guaranteed in that you'd have, or the point of reconciliation, or sort of where you'd anticipated their narrative arc was like taking them in life, you're going to be surprised. And other people are not going to be making the same mistake that you did in the past, either to walk away from this situation or sit on an opportunity to take action. So it's almost like a window of opportunity is closing, because you're getting ready to step out and step up in a big way in your life, to where it's almost like if you're accessible at this point in time, or if they could, go through a process to like gain accessibility to you, that's becoming more and more difficult. It will reach a time where it's impossible, where they'll just be kind of locked into this karmic pattern of being like an observer in your life, kind of watching from afar in some sort of way, and regretting and ruminating and wondering what if. But even that's kind of instructional as far as like a karmic pattern that they have the ability to recognize, or that you can reflect to them just by you kind of living your best life, moving forward as best as you can from circumstances with them, or like other things that you've been through. So it's like your life's getting ready to take off in a very positive way, something that can't be disrupted because you've been working on this very meticulously behind the scenes. It's like you've forged yourself into an entirely new being from the inside out. And so your material life is getting ready to change. Like the die has already been cast. There's no way to kind of upend this or interfere with this in any sort of way, because it's like the work that you've been doing behind the scenes. You've been very disciplined with yourself. And so there's a sense of almost, it's like make or break it time for this person. Are they going to get on that path of elevating themselves, of ascension in some sort of way? Or are they just going to be kind of a footnote in your story? Somebody from like a past chapter that isn't relevant towards the future. So it's almost like an invitation to sort of step into kind of the fires of transmutation, would be sort of the advice that this tarot reader would give this person, is like, proceed with caution, not because there's anything that you need to be kind of worried about or wary of, but because the lazy approach, or a half-hearted approach, or like a deceptive approach, or kind of like a wobbly approach in the past that might have might have caught your attention or might have been something that you tolerated, that no longer applies. And so there's almost a sense of like this tarot reader would tell this person kind of like, don't embarrass yourself by coming forth if you're not ready to kind of go all the way as far as stripping apart that ego and kind of rebuilding into more of a balanced version of self. Be ready to be challenged by the inner strength that this person, you the viewer, has kind of been working on behind the scenes, that is now getting ready to not just be something that you're doing privately in that hermit mode, like in secret, but it's getting ready to kind of manifest in positive changes in your life. And it's not too late for this person, the person who would go get the tarot reading, to kind of get on board with all of that. But it may even require a degree of them being like humble or honest in a way that they're not used to being with themselves or others, or that they'd been kind of wanting to avoid in this situation, because there's like a fear of sort of the ego being bruised in some sort of way. And so it's almost like a feat of strength to be able to come forth with that degree of vulnerability, and knowing that even if it would be sort of like a tense period of reconnection, you know, a lot of difficult conversations that need to take place, a very arduous process of rebuilding trust, that like all is not lost in this situation, because these are the energies of like ending and death, but it's also rebirth and life. So let's get one final card and see what else a tarot reader would tell this person about you. Okay, we have Water Temple, Devotion, Bow to the Sacred Water of Life. So they would tell this person that you are on a sacred journey, you're on a hero's journey, you know, that you are somebody that has aligned in some way with your deeper purpose in life. You're very purpose driven. That may also attribute to the fact that like you're not going to tolerate nonsense, you're not going to tolerate distractions, you're not going to put up with the same crap that this person like put you through before, or other people put you through before. You've leveled up beyond all of that. You're in your era of no nonsense. You're very much in a flow state that, again, is very confrontational to people that are trapped within their ego. And so there's a sense of almost like, if you put in the work, if you make the effort to acknowledge the sacredness of the journey that this individual's been on, how they've kind of navigated through their brokenness, or, you know, started to kind of want more for themselves out of life and have aligned with that, then you also have the ability to reap the benefits of that, or have like a loving partnership where concepts of that in whatever way that would sort of apply to this person personally, where that would be accepted, where that would be welcomed, where it would be understood, where it would be, you know, met with compassion and love. So there's a sense that even though these energies might be very intimidating, very triggering to this person, that ultimately the tarot reader would tell them like, you've softened something within yourself, you've changed for the better, you've really come home to yourself, you've been devoting yourself very intently to your self-love journey. Not just speaking the mantras, not just kind of buying all the props that sort of go along with, you know, living a spiritually based life, or, you know, working to kind of create more alignment for oneself, but you've actually gone in and done that hard work. You've sat alone with yourself. You've cried those tears, you've purged that pain, you know, you've set your sights towards the future, and you've come out the other side. You've moved through some kind of like block within, and now you are in this flow state of abundance. I think they would also tell this person as well that you're not as icy as you may appear. Like, you may be coming off as like Queen of Swords energy at this time, but there's really like warmth and vitality. They'd tell them to not be like afraid of that sort of no nonsense impression that you're giving others, but to approach you with respect, and then gain access to that like oasis within, that you've tapped into some kind of perfect blend of like your masculine and feminine energies, your receptivity, and your ability to give. And so there's a sense that this person, if they play their cards right, if they're honest with themselves and with you, there's the ability to kind of move beyond sort of that mask of iciness and to really experience that tranquility within, peace that you've cultivated inside of yourself that might not have been there before. They would tell this person, like, you're at peace. You're at peace about many things, things that might have troubled you very deeply before, or, had been the result of your experiences with them, or, just things that had happened in your life. It's like you're making peace with all of that, or you've made peace with all of that in some sort of way. And so this wouldn't be just a matter of a reconciliation between you and this person. It would be the ability to kind of taste of the sacredness, to build with somebody romantically that had actually fought those battles within and had claimed that kind of place of peace for themselves. But that you're also somebody that you're not going to tolerate things that disrupt that peace, because it's taken so much to like come to this place within. So it would be a sense of like approach with reverence, approach with honesty, and approach with the expectation that you're going to have to flow and be flexible beyond just like a rigid kind of plan or an idea of what would unfold between the two of you, or kind of like these are the results. This is almost like entering into more of an imaginal realm of kind of like infinite possibilities. That an experience with you, this version of you at this point romantically, it changes people. And it's up to the person to determine, is this going to change me for the better, or is this going to like limit me within kind of like the familiar narrative of brokenness that is part of kind of the ego that is fearful of an expansive type of love, a healing love, as is possible with you and this person, because you've been working very hard to become that for yourself. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. G, Y, M, H, S, D, Q, O, Z, R, U, A, F, P, V, U, K, R, C, W, N, H, and I. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Citrine. So let's see, what would a tarot reader tell the person on your mind about you? Okay, the first one we have is crocodile energy with patience, hawk energy with hunt, and starfish energy with sacred. So this feels like a message that would come to this person that you're in a sacred time of reinvention. You may be on the brink of jumping timelines in order to come into alignment with like a bigger goal that you've had for yourself. This can be professionally, this can be like a comeback story. This can also be in terms of aspects within yourself, blocks as far as like love is concerned, or your view of your worthiness to receive love from a healthy, aligned partner. that you're moving through those limits. Things where you might have unconsciously kind of pushed this person away in the past. You yourself may be kind of an avoidant personality type, or you've become that way as a result of experiences that you've had romantically, where you've almost been sort of shut down for healing, or there's been a need to kind of take time away from relationships, or maybe even some space from this person in general in order to like heal certain things, or ways in which kind of you might have been pulled in two different directions, kind of like the call of career aspirations, kind of being very ambitious in some sort of way, and what might have been like an unexpected connection with this person that you might have thought sort of like, okay, what place is there in my life for this love story? This wasn't in the plan. This was unanticipated, where like you've been trying to kind of do better than you did in past relationships, like where you made mistakes. And so there's been a sense of trying to do things differently, or there's the ability to do things differently within this situation, but it's not a circumstance that can be rushed. Like this person would be told that they're basically in competition with some kind of, not third party in terms of like another romantic suitor, but it may be something in terms of like a career path. You're either getting ready to embark on a career path where you'll be like married to your job, something that brings forth, good opportunities for you. It's been a long time in coming. And so this person may need to kind of adapt themselves in their life as well, or kind of change what they had envisioned would be sort of the power dynamic between the two of you if they want to be like part of your life in this next chapter moving forward. Or there's a sense of like you're getting ready to have like breakthroughs as far as, like some kind of special interest, some kind of like passion project, something you've been working on behind the scenes in order to up level your life in some way, which may actually take you in a different direction, like away from this person. There's a sense of a tarot reader telling them not to become frustrated or feel thwarted by the idea of obstacles, that there may be something that is able to be built between the two of you within like the sacredness of silence, to kind of like use this time with whatever's getting ready to happen with you, or whatever you're working on, or whatever you're experiencing, or you're right on the precipice of in terms of like glow up. You might be very busy coming up soon. You may be choosing to move in another direction, or kind of branch out into unfamiliar territory in some way that could almost make this person feel left out in the cold, which could be very problematic for them if they've already kind of like left you out in the cold. If they went ghost, if they went silent, if they kind of pulled back, there's a sense of you're not where they left you, or it's a sense of like this area of your life, like romance, may have been stuck and may have been stagnant, but other areas of your life are responding very well to your efforts to make them flourish. And so there's a sense of almost like the table's turning, and this person may be needing to strengthen within themselves the ability to be like a supportive partner to others. Like if you'd been very supportive of this person's dream, or they were used to people that were just, like an accessory to them, sort of the idea of, like a trophy wife or a trophy husband, or, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, just as something that was kind of a demonstration of like, okay, I'm this type of person, or I've achieved this, so I'm able to call in this type of partnership. It's almost like this is the sense of kind of recognizing that who you are, or what this relationship is possible to be, it's not just going to serve this person's own ego. It's not just going to pump them up in that sense. This has the makings of like a power couple energy here, but it's something where you're each needing to like step into your own personal power in order to really accelerate that with one another. So it's a different type of teamwork. I'm hearing worth the wait with this patience energy as well. So something where it's almost like absence makes the heart grow fonder, where there may be a sense of needing to be like a spectator in your life, watching your star rise, or you really like hit certain goals or achieve certain things, or start to kind of move in that direction, where this person's going to be challenged of this sort of like, is there any room for me? Where do I factor into this? That I need to just be there pouring love into this individual, even if their successes aren't because of me or don't include me in some sort of way. So let's see what else a tarot reader would have to tell them about you. Okay, we have ascension, transformation, end of a cycle and beginnings. And time, planning, making decisions, taking risks. So I'm hearing one-way ticket with these energies. So it feels like this is a one-way ticket into like a very beautiful unfolding of something for you. Something that might have to do with like a lucky break, right place, right time. Something where what you've been working on or who you are kind of comes into the awareness of like the right person or the right people who can like open doors for you. You align with those right circumstances where you might be busy and are not thinking of love then. It may be sort of like a choice, like a push-pull dynamic between like if this person and this situation is kind of giving you the vibes of uncertainty, you may be the one getting ready to kind of put them off on the back burner because it's almost like really exciting things are getting ready to happen for you. But this is almost necessary for this person to kind of watch this happen, to kind of witness all that you're capable of, or kind of a peek behind that curtain in some sort of way, to perhaps break them out of some understanding or perception they'd had of you, or like a goal for themselves in general, consciously or unconsciously, of like, I'm looking for a trophy wife, I'm looking for a trophy husband, I'm looking for someone that complements and fits in with the design of my life as I've intended it. And so there's almost a need for them to kind of revise certain plans or become open-minded about what the future can look like for them and for you, because this is the time where it's almost like if they didn't have time for you before, now you don't really have time for them. You don't really have time to kind of think about this. There's a sense that this is almost like the runner becomes the chaser kind of an energy. So a tarot reader might tell them like, get ready to feel all of this desire for this person. It's kind of like the idea of we pursue that which retreats from us. And you're getting ready to retreat from this person. Either you've held space for them long enough, there were things that weren't satisfying about this, or they were just taking their time and kind of showing up for you properly. And so you've let this go and you've poured yourself into something else, or your time and attention is going to get pulled away by so many different things. Perhaps even like a new person that catches your attention, where there could be like competition, the idea of kind of married to a job, married to a career, married to a life purpose, or somebody that shows up in your reality in kind of this next phase of your evolution that's saying all the right things or doing all the right things. They're showing up in a way which is reflective of kind of this up-leveled version of you. And this person may be experiencing some kind of jealousy. It may even be something where loyalties are kind of tested. The nature of what you could be getting ready to do might put you in the line of sight of a lot of people paying you compliments, a lot of people gushing over you, something that might trigger this person's jealousy, especially if you're having to like travel or, just go be around a bunch of people and you're like getting attention. This could really be a testing time for this person, or this kind of element where they're being shown like you're needing to toughen up, you're needing to get a thicker skin in terms of this aspect of yourself, because it's in alignment with who this person, you the viewer, has been working hard to become. You're getting ready to be recognized, to be celebrated, to be desired. That if this was like you just had this person, or maybe it's like a past person, that can even indicate like options as far as suitors are concerned. They'll just be one of many now instead of just the sure bet. Or this can also just be something, the nature of what you're getting ready to do, or like the life you've created for yourself. You have like a lot of admirers, a lot of secret admirers, a lot of fans, and that might be something that this person is used to being the center of attention, or, the nature of kind of this energy directed towards you might make them feel very self-conscious or very triggered or very jealous. And so there's a sense of kind of like the relationship or the potential for the future of a relationship being tested at this point in time. Can you rise to the occasion of just sort of observing the nature of your partner or your potential partner's kind of glow up in life without feeling deeply threatened as a person? Or is this something where that kind of higher level of experience, like you've generated a higher vibe within, or you're getting ready to have some kind of success, or you're very sort of close to that within yourself, that then the material world kind of reflects that. You've celebrated you've done this hard work for you, and now you're getting ready to be celebrated. Like, can this person who would be getting this tarot reading, can they step outside of kind of the idea of power dynamics? This might even be where you're getting ready to earn more money than this person, and that might be very threatening and triggering to them. And it's kind of like, is this relationship worth it? Is this love worth it enough for you to put that kind of conditioning, that belief, that pride aside, and recognize that, you know, your partner's success is your success as well? That there's some way to kind of deepen the support for one another. And it feels like something as well that kind of, there would be some sort of indicator that this person needs to really kind of like celebrate you, or perhaps even be like a safe space where you can sort of decompress based on the nature of what this busyness and this success involves. It may be where you're needing to have, like, there's like a public persona, or, you know, a particular role that you fit into. And so it would be almost the sense of like the thing that you need the most from this person is, at the end of the day, you know, when you come home to them or when you're connecting with one another, just be that listening person. Don't take things so personally. Don't take the moodiness so personally. Or, you know, if you're very tired, you're very stressed out, your communication is kind of lacking, you know, or not very deep, to not kind of internalize that and sort of make a problem where there's not a problem. That there's a sense of like, the time will come then for you to be that kind of reciprocal support system for this person, because as your star is on the rise, it's almost like their star is on the rise. If they're able to kind of meet you in this energy of allowing you the time and space to experience this kind of next chapter for yourself, without the interference of kind of factoring them in or factoring their feelings in some sort of way, to trust that kind of almost like a self-centered energy that you may be getting ready to step into, because you're being celebrated for the first time ever in some kind of way, or, you know, you're reaching some kind of pinnacle for yourself, some pinnacle of success. It's like, you earn this, you deserve this. This isn't the time to be like cheering other people on. It's the time for you to receive applause. This can also apply to like, it's time for this person to celebrate you more obviously, in terms of the romance. You know, if they're wanting to kind of be relevant for you moving forward, then they're going to need to like come up with a plan of action, or a plan of action would be well received. If this is someone who's been thinking about celebrating you, making things official, taking the next step with you, this can also be the energy of like, that would pretend like very good things. That would be very fortunate. That would be a smart move on this person's part, because there's the ability to kind of be there in shadow times as well as times of light. And this may be a time where they're challenged to be that kind of support system for you, or that support person for you, kind of, you know, hold the belief, hold the love, hold the light in the shadows, while you are in the midst of kind of stepping up in some sort of way for yourself. So let's get one final card to see what a tarot reader would tell them about you. Okay, we have Goddess Wraith, Quest. I am divinely guided. Yeah, so there's a sense of the two of you entering into, or having the potential to enter into, a new cycle with one another, because you are right now kind of like closing out a cycle for yourself. You've been, you know, working on something in a long-term sense, reaching for something in a long-term sense, and you're about to hit pay dirt. You're about to hit the payload. It's about to kind of have that impact, move the right people in the right ways in order for a different sort of future to be possible for yourself. So this is almost the sense of this person maybe as well being told that they need to get very serious, or even kind of use this period of time where you may be kind of like in the midst of the distraction almost, or the process almost of up-leveling in some sort of way, that rather than just sitting around and twiddling their thumbs, or, you know, kind of getting all obsessive, that this is a really good time for this person to check in and see within themselves What are some ways in which I need to put my ego in check? I need to get excited for my partner's success because that's my success, or the person that I'm wanting to partner with. So there could be like jealousy going on, something where it's like their endeavors aren't flourishing as much as yours are, or are getting ready to. And so there could be kind of like a challenge with that in some sort of way, for themselves. It's like a learning curve. It's an opportunity for growth. And so there may be the sense of kind of this tarot reader telling this person like you're about to get this awareness that like this person, you the viewer, that you don't need this individual, you want this individual. And therefore, based on that kind of understanding of sort of where they fall into, you know, the structure and framework of the life that you're living, how do they want to play that part? How do they want to participate? Because it's a sense of you have the ability to kind of outgrow this person, or just the nature of what you're getting ready to step into will sort of put you in alignment with different types of people that maybe resonate with this kind of actualization of ambition, or are aligned with the nature of kind of whatever it is you've been working towards or working on within yourself. And so this person, it's like they might have thought they had kind of a guaranteed spot in your life, or this would always be an option or a possibility, but that's no longer so certain. That's no longer just a given. It's no longer the case. So if they've been kind of dragging their feet as far as taking things to the next level, it feels like a tarot reader would tell them like, you need to get very serious about yourself, about like a list of pros and cons, sort of like, why is it that I'm being challenged by this person or by this connection, or I have in the past? What, if anything, can I do about it? And if there's nothing that I can do or nothing that I choose to do, this person may be like clinging to you energetically, or they may start to do that when they kind of sense or see or experience things changing for the better for you, that a tarot reader might kind of tell this person, you need to let go or be dragged. Either let go of the need to control the outcome of this situation and sort of adjust the role that they play in your life and the role you're playing in their life, or even a sense of like, if you don't feel that this kind of aligns, or this jealousy is too much, or, you know, this energy is too much, then the tarot reader would kind of tell them like, you need to make that clear. You can't just leave this as kind of like an open-ended thing, almost something that it would bring forth like karmic repercussions in some sort of way, like how this person handles this circumstance, it's going to come back on them. You know, so this may even be kind of like a painful conversation that needs to take place, but it's got to happen. If they're leaving you with the energy of vagueness and they're just kind of ruminating and stewing, then it's like all of that bounces back on them in the form of other people being vague, other people not, you know, truly celebrating them, things of that nature. To where it's almost, this would be something that a tarot reader would kind of tell this person, you know, this connection, or the way that they feel about it, it's getting ready to kind of enter into sort of like a challenging place within. But on the other side of that cycle is the ability to them to kind of like rise to the occasion to meet you, to come to understand a different type of partnership, a different layer of partnership. Not just that you're, you know, together and in sync with one another when everything is sunshine and rainbows, but even at those times where there's quarrels, even at the times where, you know, it's hard to see eye to eye, that you're still holding space for one another and trying to kind of navigate that with trust in some sort of way, that all of that is possible here within this, in this situation, and kind of like it's in this person's highest good, to try and get out of their own way and make space within themselves to be part of this kind of like abundance, or this flourishing energy that you've been working on, that you've been cultivating, that's getting ready to intersect with you now. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got Q, W, C, K, L, A, O, J, M, D, P, W, B, D, X, S R F G P V and U. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Smokey Quartz. So let's see, what would a tarot reader tell the person on your mind about you right now? Okay, and we have Beetle Spirit with Collaborate. Peacock Spirit, Confidence. And Monkey Spirit, Play. So it feels like a tarot reader would tell this person that you're either open to new connections or you're actively seeking those out, that you may have somebody special in mind, somebody that you're chatting with, somebody that you've recently met or are getting ready to meet, that is going to celebrate you for who you are, flaws and all. Playtime's over, kind of like low vibrational, inconsistent, wishy-washy people. Like you're done with all of that. You've successfully moved beyond a cycle of that. Maybe if this is even something where you'd been kind of telling yourself, I'm not looking for anything serious. I need to take some time to heal, some time to myself. You're getting ready to kind of shed that energy of celibacy and being single and kind of just focusing on yourself, loving yourself. You're ready to kind of exchange with somebody, with a new type of person. You're getting ready to put yourself out there again, even if you're setting that intention just within kind of your mind and you're like, okay, I'm ready, it's time to move forward, time to just like live my life. I can't wait for a past person anymore. I can't let heartbreak or life circumstances hold me back. I need to live my life for the fullest. All of that is going to do something to kind of like open a door for you, or maybe this has already happened where you're attracting in kind of like new people. It's bringing to mind the idea of like when somebody gets divorced and they take off like their wedding ring as kind of like the announcement, like, hey, I'm single, available, single, ready to mingle. I'm ready to experience something different than what I had to leave behind. That's the essence of what you've moved into, or what you're actively stepping into at this point. And so if this was like a past person that had thought maybe they would come back around, there's almost a sense of like competition. It's not going to be so easy. There, are multiple applicants or somebody else that has kind of like caught your attention, or is getting ready to like fight for your heart in some sort of way. This can speak to like a confident suitor, somebody that matches that confidence or admires you for your confidence. Somebody who is done with the games as well. They and you are done convincing yourself like, I don't need love, I don't need partnership, I don't need romance. And it's kind of almost the sense of either you and somebody meet and it kind of breaks down those walls, it dismantles that kind of self-protective energy, or it's a sense of you and somebody else have kind of reached that place of like, okay, I'm ready for something, I'm ready to meet someone, I'm ready for new experiences, and it very kind of quickly aligns you with sort of what you've been hoping for, what you've been looking for. That may serve as a rude awakening to this, like a past person who could be watching. They may have to watch you move on with your life. Hearing too little too late. So it may be something where by the time this person kind of figures it out, even if they got this tarot reading and acted, very immediately like, okay, I'm going to come back in. I don't want to lose my spot in line. I changed my mind. I don't want this person to, never contact me again, or that I'm better off kind of without them. This kind of energy. even if they tried to sort of bring it back up from a place of kind of where things have ended, it's almost like your mindset has shifted, your vibration has shifted. What this person had to offer, or even the terms of reconciliation, what you might have required for a period of time in order to kind of entertain a new connection with them, all of that's changed, or you've released that in some sort of way. You've given up pouring so much of your hope and energy into holding space for the past to be repaired. And there's a sense of almost like, my best bet is to look towards the future, not try to like dismantle the circumstances that are behind me that I've moved beyond, but pour myself into the birthing of something better, something beyond what I've known or that left me disappointed. I'm hearing can't compete. So it feels like if a new person's coming in, or you've connected with someone, this past person can't even compete with what this other person has to bring, what they have to offer. And that can be in multiple ways. It can be in terms of, financially they can't compete. In terms of character, they can't compete. In terms of the way you and this other person might align, there's no competition. The vibe, the nature of the understanding, or what you build with one another, it's something which almost is getting ready to show you how love should be, that makes it even more difficult for this past person to kind of like redeem themselves, because it's almost like whatever's getting ready to come in, or you're getting ready to experience, maybe even just taking your power back and being very proactive, like, I'm not going to wait around for someone to choose me. I'm going to go out and live my life. And that's very empowering, to where like control that this person had wanted to have, or, like these cat and mouse games that they wanted to play with you. It's almost like that doesn't interest you anymore. That's not going to get your attention. That's not going to pull you off your path anymore, or you're beyond that. You're releasing that. That's not what you want anymore. Maybe you've come to see this past person for who they are, really, or a version of yourself, a wounded version of yourself that might have aligned with them and thought they were the end all be all. That's my twin flame, that's my soulmate, that's the one. It's like you've healed in some sort of way, and you're recognizing that was just a manifestation of some wound. That was something that had potential, but then it never became anything more than just potential, where it's almost like you're grounded and yet more expansive than you've been before. And so maybe this person's karma to like watch you move on with someone else, see what they missed, what was right in front of their face the whole time, and like you've expanded beyond whatever you were before. And it's like you've stepped into this new version of yourself. There's a new level of confidence. You're carrying yourself different. You're attracting in different. You're showing up different. And so it feels like it's something that a tarot reader would tell this person, like, you're not going to maybe understand some of the choices that this individual, that you, the viewer, like make going forward. But that ultimately you're stepping into something that is truly aligned. And this person had the opportunity to build with you in that direction, and they dropped the ball, or they chose to like let this situation pass them by. And it's kind of like too little too late almost to pick things back up, or to sort of get into that place of like the fullness of what there could be. Like there'd always be some kind of awkwardness. It's almost like a trust that's been broken that can't ever be rebuilt. You'd always be keeping people at arm's length, like with one another. And so there's a sense of almost, a tarot reader may tell this person, you need to just chalk this up as a loss, as a lesson. Because this person has like outgrown you. They've moved beyond the games in some sort of way. So let's see what else a tarot reader would tell them. Okay, we have Rider, movement, quick decisions and progress. And Shelter, spiritual growth, accountability, and healing. Yeah, so you're about to find shelter in the arms of another. There's about to be somebody else, or maybe you've already connected with someone recently that is a really good suitor, a very good candidate for the type of love that heals you on a soul level, that is a step up beyond kind of what you've experienced in your past that left you worse for wear, or maybe had you thinking, am I asking for too much, where you tried to kind of perform or earn love in some sort of way. You're getting ready to encounter someone that kind of anticipates your needs without you needing to ask, or the things that they do for you, romantically speaking, or in the course of your relationship, shows you that you were never asking too much from previous people who may have made you feel like you were a burden, you were too high maintenance, you were too demanding. It's almost like someone that's ready to go above and beyond. You've elevated beyond like a bare minimum phase of your life. And a romantic experience that corresponds with that is getting ready to come forth to you, or is happening right now. And in some way, this person that would be getting like the tarot reading on you, they're almost like forced to watch it in some sort of way, or even feel energetically your process of detachment from them. Because now you're like called into the arms of what love should be, what it actually is, as something so different from what was withheld from you from this person in the past, or kind of like the broken version of love that they showed. You learned that lesson and you've evolved beyond that, and now there's somebody that's getting ready to come in and love you correctly. This is a sense of somebody who's ready to fight for your heart, who has battled a lot of their own demons. You may have like a similar background with one another. You're able to really understand where each other is coming from in terms of like losses in life, lessons in life, lessons and losses in love, just different kind of things, in addition to like the victory and, sort of evolving beyond those kind of disappointments. A lot of things that you're able to kind of align with that speak to a deeper level of connection than this person getting the tarot reading about you on their best day was able to offer to you in the past. It's like they wouldn't have even thought to kind of show up in the way that this new person is getting ready to, or will show up for you, which is supposed to be informative for them on like a spiritual level, but it may be something which triggers a lot of like animosity within them, kind of a sense of like it's not fair. Like a tarot reader would kind of tell this person like, get ready to be disappointed because you've missed that opportunity. It's too little too late, and now you need to watch somebody else love this person correctly. Like you're getting ready to see what this person, what you the viewer, looks like when they are loved properly. And it's going to sting, it's going to hurt this other person that would get the tarot reading, because in some way they're going to recognize like, I couldn't be that for them. I didn't bring that out of them. I brought the worst out of them, or I brought nothing at all out. And here's this person that kind of brings out the best, or two people bring out the best in each other. So it feels like for you, the tables are turning in a positive way. For this person getting the tarot reading, it's kind of like, this is a time to kind of just sit and witness sort of the nature of consequence on the other side of choices. So let's get one final card and see what a tarot reader would tell this person about you. Okay, we have Goddess of the Nile, opulence. I welcome the constant flow of sustenance. So a tarot reader would tell this person like, you were the gift all along. You were hidden in plain sight. You were the blessing the whole time. They would tell them that this is probably a period of time to like go in and do some shadow work. There would probably be guidance and advice against an instinct for this person to just like rebound with another person. It feels like the tarot reader would know, but probably wouldn't say. It's very likely this person's just going to settle for the first thing that comes along. After you become accessible, that's very likely. But if they were a good reader, they'd try to encourage them, to like make the most of this, learn what they can out of this situation, to keep an open mind and an open heart, that love will find them further down the road when it's time, but almost kind of that that aspect that the tarot reader would keep to themselves is sort of like the nature of this almost hearing they humiliated themselves. So a way in which this person might have thought they're going to teach you a lesson, or get you to value them by being very elusive in some sort of way, or playing games in order to feel powerful, like they've lost out on something good, on something beautiful. A tarot reader would see you as like a once in a lifetime person, but because it's no longer like a blessing that's accessible to the person getting the reading, they may not tell them that. It's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point in kind of giving this person sort of that kind of bad news if there's nothing that they can do about it to change it? It's almost like your true form is revealed in some sort of way. You're getting ready to align with like a divine partner. So if you consider yourself to be a divine feminine, it's like your true divine masculine is coming in, your true counterpart. The person that, if this was sort of like a situation where this might have been like a soul connection with someone and they chose not to kind of fulfill their part of the contract, this is almost like that's being overwritten, and it's not like a substitute, it's a replacement. It's a replacement for this person that chose the path of fear and inaction, and now they've written themselves out of your narrative in a significant way moving forward. And because of the nature of how this has happened, it's almost that they're on kind of like a lower tier as far as energy is concerned. Like they got a lot of work to do in this lifetime or in a future lifetime to kind of, move through that fear or understand it for what it is. But that's not your problem. You have successfully transcended illusions around yourself. You jumped into a new timeline, and so it's almost like there's a person that you're getting ready to connect with, or that you've already connected with, that you're starting to build with, that will recognize you like the divine in me recognizes the divine in you, and you're getting ready to recognize and experience what love really should be, what it can be between two people, what kind of this version of yourself, what you require, not kind of that less awakened version of you that you were before you set out on some sort of journey, or made some kind of judgment call within yourself that sort of flipped the script on what you're tolerating, what you're kind of dealing with, what you're allowing into your life. Simple actions, simple kind of choices, opening entirely new doors for you, that you're getting ready to experience kind of the materialization of what that is in the form of another person who, it feels like if this person was very like kept you as an option, or was very unclear, this is somebody who's going to like choose you right away, and there's going to be no doubt in your mind at any point in time that like, hey, this is someone who's enthusiastic, this is somebody who wants to kind of earn my affections, this is somebody who's showing up consistently, they're keeping pace with me, this is something that it feels like will be night and day compared to what you knew before, and so there's a sense of almost like a tarot reader telling this person, you're better off kind of seeking closure, because this person in some sort of way they've unlocked a new beginning for themselves, or they're getting ready to kind of interact with romantic experiences that are what they were always wanting but couldn't find before. That opportunity to kind of just back and forth with one another, that's come to a conclusion, because you've taken your power back in some sort of way. You've unlocked your heart in some sort of way. You've opened your mind to the idea of new experiences. And so it's kind of, this is almost something that there's like a karmic contract that is complete now between you and this other person. They have their lessons and experiences to learn. You have other lessons and experiences to have, but it's almost like your paths have now sort of are severed from one another. You're disconnected. There is no further need to reconnect. There's you've provided yourself with your own vindication. You've closed out that cycle without the need of this person's assistance. And so the advice would be for them to kind of just focus on themselves, because you're in the midst of getting swept up into your new life and into this beautiful experience of love that's coming in for you. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got V, I, M, N, F, U, L, A, P, B, X, R, G, V, S, K, T, E, H, and Y. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.